Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Tom from UDS with another edition of UDS Interviews, our series where we chat to interesting people from around the world. Now, my guest this week is one of the leading figures in modern pop punk, creating catchy hooks, toe-tapping beats, and lyrics that stick in your head as well as your heart. And they're here to talk all about their brand new EP, easy for me to say. It is my pleasure to introduce Tim from arguably the most handsomest band in the world today, Richmond's own Telltale.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me on, Tom. I definitely appreciate it. I'm looking forward to chatting.
The pleasure is all mine. How are things your way?
They're pretty good. Yeah. Got this album, rolling out in a bit, and other than that, not a ton happening.
Well, you were saying just before we started rolling that you guys are already, obviously, we're going to talk about the new record in just a bit, but you guys are already working on some new cool stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to today?
Yeah. We're actually recording some acoustic tracks and some acoustic sessions for all the songs on the record that are coming out tomorrow. So, they're going to have a more stripped down, probably version of, Lie Your Way Out and then Pessimist and maybe another track. So, we're hammering those out, and probably will be out next month. So if you're listening to this, definitely check it out when it comes out.
The hustle never stops. And obviously we're going to talk about music in just a bit. But before we get to that point, I want to get to know the real you. And the way I like to get to know my new friends just a little bit better is asking the hard-hitting questions. So get ready. And that is, Tim, if you were a type of sandwich, what kind of sandwich would you say best defines you as a person?
It's a good question. I don't know. I personally like a Mediterranean sandwich. So like some hummus, feta cheese, maybe some chicken, and then, put some cucumbers on it or something. Something a little healthy, but not all the way healthy. And, it's a little spicy with the hummus. Get a kick. So
absolutely. You sound delicious, man. And I mean, it's kind of fitting in a way, because a sandwich like that, as you say, it's got a bit of spice. I'm sure it will go down really nice on like a warm summer evening, much like the new EP by Telltale, and that's what we call a segue. But
absolutely.
But anyway, we should probably talk about the music, because that is why you're here. So your new EP, Lie Your Way Out, is dropping tomorrow at time of recordings, which is very exciting. So firstly, how are you feeling about the launch? You must be. Is it nerves? Is it excitement? Or is it just relief that finally it's out? What's sort of going through your head at the moment?
Yeah, I'd probably say, just excited to have the tracks out. We've been working on them for quite a while. We started part of the record before the pandemic in March 2020, actually. So it's just been a really long road to get this collection of songs out, and we're looking forward to having everybody able to hear it. So pretty stoked.
Absolutely. And obviously this will go out a few days after now, so people will be able to get their hands and their ears on it. But for people who haven't checked it out yet, what can people expect from this EP?
A little bit of everything, honestly. I feel like we have a song kind of for everybody on it. There's like a poppier song, more of a punk track. Then there's kind of like a dad rock, Breaking Benjamin type song. And then, a mix of everything. If you listen to alternative rock, pop punk, or just harder rock, I feel like can appreciate this collection of songs, and hopefully it will connect with you.
Absolutely. And speaking of that variety, not just sort of musically, but thematically, and sort of with some of the issues that this EP deals with, there's a lot of variety there as well, because you've got sort of, the some might say sort of the staples of pop punk, like just more sort of introspective, sort of personal issues, but you also deal with sort of global issues like, the environment and things like that. And so first of all, what, from your perspective, what sort of themes do you find easier or sort of more rewarding to work with? Do you find it easier to sort of write from sort of that more sort of internal perspective, or do you prefer sort of exploring more of these global themes that, affects everyone, if that makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say kind of like a mix of both. I feel like our band normally writes on things that we're just really passionate about, or just like we see like issues in the world or something. Like Slow Burn's about the Australian wildfires, and we were out in LA at the time when that was going on, and we're like, this is kind of messed up. So we just, wrote about that, and then we have a bunch of songs touching on like mental health and just some issues we've gone through like previously, and during the quarantine period. So kind of what's ever on our heart, I feel, or just like whatever issues are kind of like right there in our face, we always feel obligated to speak on and talk about.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you mentioned that some of these songs were written, or at least in the works, pretty much over 2 years ago at this point, and as I'm sure you're aware, a lot has gone down in the world in the past 2 years. So bearing in mind that a lot of these tracks do deal with these issues that you feel so strongly about, do you feel like, particularly with those earlier tracks, that your relationship with these songs has sort of evolved as you've worked through them in the past 2 years?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. We recorded Slow Burn and like Out of Control before like March 2020, and then we had about half of Code Vein written. So like literally the record's like split in half between, pre like, pandemic, and then like in the middle here, I guess you would say. So yeah, it's definitely taken like a bit of a turn as far as like the direction of the songs and like some of the themes and stuff that we kind of have going on. But it's been an enjoyable process for sure.
Awesome. And have you had a chance to play any of the new tracks on the road just yet?
We haven't, unfortunately. Our guitarist Bryce he had like leg surgery here kind of recently, so we just haven't been able to really book anything, and we've just been kind of getting ramped up back, getting into a rhythm and stuff as far as everything goes. But we looking forward to playing these tracks live, and having them take on their own unique feeling once people can listen to them and kind of interact. So
absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say that's sort of a whole extra evolution of sort of, I suppose that relationship with the music is when you've got people screaming them back at you. And in that regard, is there any particular song out of the new tracks that you're most looking forward to playing live?
Yeah, I think Slow Burn's going to be a really fun one, just because I really enjoy the chorus. I think it's a pretty solid hook, one of the better ones we've written. And then I think Cobain will be cool just because it's more of a production-based song in parts of it. So I'm curious to see how it'll translate live, and then just like people's overall thoughts on it. But yeah, it should be pretty fun to just kind of play out and see kind of what sticks.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. And if you can ever make it over to across the pond to the UK, I will be front and center screaming them back. So make it happen. Make it happen.
I got you. We will absolutely hang out. That's a goal of ours to make it get over to the UK and everything. So would definitely be excited to meet you in person.
Hell yeah. So kind of away from music, I can't remember who it was on the interview, but I was reading a piece that you guys did where you said that you guys are kind of, at least some of you are history buffs. Are you one of those people that sort of consider yourself in that sort of interested in history, particularly? I think it was like the 1900s side of things.
I personally am not. That's more of our guitarist Bryce, and then drummer Travis. But I have like a background in mechanical engineering and stuff like that. So I'm more like a tech savvy person, I guess. And then also like, Jurassic Park, terrible shark movies, things like that.
We're going to have a conversation about that in just a while. Don't you? Well, wait, but I guess in that way, bear in mind that here at UDS, we don't just talk about music. We talk about the breadth of pop culture. So if we, everything from literally history to dumb shark movies and everything in between. So with that in mind, if you could have a Telltale track featured in anything, whether it be a movie, a video game, a TV show, nothing's off the table, what would be your dream thing to feature one of your tracks in?
I've thought about this before, and I have been playing the remastered Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 quite a bit, and that's just actually, this is probably going to split my answer. I'd have to say, Tony Hawk's either like Underground, 1 or 2. I feel like those games are pretty iconic, or like Guitar Hero 3, extremely iconic, and kind of helped shape like my interest in music and everything. So that would be pretty surreal to, be skating around. And your song comes on while you're hitting like a 1,000,000-point combo or something. So be pretty sweet.
I mean, literally, those games shaped a generation's music taste for the better, and I think it's about time that a new one came out. Obviously, the remake was amazing, but like a new one with like a brand new soundtrack just to introduce like a whole new generation of bands. But it's interesting that you mention Underground 2, because that's one of the ones that I remember most fondly. And after seeing the new Jackass movie, I went back and played that, because obviously it's got Bam in it and a bunch of the other guys from there. And oh man, it's so stupid, but it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, that game is like super iconic. I love that one, and honestly, like American Wasteland, like kind of all those games in that realm of like, you know, time or whatever. Those are really well put together, I feel, and they just had like a huge cultural impact everywhere.
100%, 100%. I remember, I think it's American Wasteland, where you have to, I think, I can't remember what trick it is specifically, but you have to do a trick over a parody of Ben Affleck, who I think is called Ben Hoofleck or something like that. And yeah, and also the Misfits cover of Astro Zombies, the My Chemical Romance cover of the Misfits Astro Zombies is in that game, which is one of the best cover songs ever. So yeah, you've got good taste, my man. You've got good taste.
Appreciate that. You too, as well.
I appreciate it right back at you. So we talked, you know, about the EP dropping tomorrow, and you know that you've got sort of tentative plans for a tour or some shows at some point. But as best as you can, what else does the rest of 2022 have in store for you guys?
Yeah, I think you know, looking forward to seeing some of the results of this record and kind of building our fan base out. And then we started demoing for like a LP, so we've got like 2 songs done for that. Not sure when we'll be able to get into the studio or anything, but you know, just looking forward to, you know, building out some songs, some demos, and then you know, hitting the road and hopefully getting over to your part of the world towards the end of the year. It's definitely a goal of ours.
Excellent. No, yeah, really, really looking forward to that. Sounds like you guys have got some exciting stuff coming up. So yeah, we'll definitely put a link to all your guys' socials and everything in the description below, so everyone can check you guys out, particularly until you know, they can see you live or whatever this year. But I have one last question for you, and I said we were going to talk about dumb shark movies, and this is the time to talk about dumb shark movies, and that is we are UDS, which stands for Upside Down Shark. And don't ask me why we're called Upside Down Shark. It's a name we thought up way, way, way long ago, and we're in way too deep to change it now. But be that as it may, what is your favorite shark? And it can be real, it can be fictional, it could be a shark from a movie, or it could be a shark from nature. But what would you say your favorite shark is?
First off, I forgot that this was called Upside Down Shark, so I didn't even mean to throw that in there. That's generally like a part of my personality. But I would say, I don't know if you're familiar with Toxic Shark. It's on Netflix, I believe. But
No.
basically, it's a shark that like bites people and they turn into zombies, and then they like it's wild. You got to check it out. I also like Jaws. Obviously, you can't go wrong with Jaws. So
I mean, they are 2 solid choices. I have never heard of Toxic Shark, but this Thursday evening, I will change that and I will watch Toxic Shark. That is literally the next thing I'm going to do as soon as this call is over, because that sounds amazing. Zombie sharks? Yeah. Well, zombie making sharks? Incredible. Wow.
It's everything that you would think it is. It's terrible, but it's also great. So I don't know. If you got like an hour, check it out.
I do love some movies that are so bad they're good. There's another one out there. I think it's called Velocipasta or whatever. Have you seen it?
I just watched that.
Oh, that's on my list as well. Is it as bad as I want it to be?
It's so. Oh my gosh! It's like top 5 like worst movies I've ever seen. Like it has nothing on Toxic Shark.
Oh my god! Oh, that's amazing. I still kind of want to watch it just because of that name. It's so stupid. Yeah. I tell you what, a bad movie is always going to be better than a boring movie, and I do appreciate some of these movies that are so bad that you can just have a few beers and have a great time watching them. And yeah, Toxic Shark sounds like it's going to fit that category really well.
Yeah, put down 3 or 4 beers and suddenly it's not that bad. I promise.
Oh, I've heard that in my life many times. But anyway, Tim, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you today. Thank you so much for your time. And honestly, next time you guys are over in the UK, we're having 3 or 4 beers and we are going to watch some bad movies and we're going to have a great time.
Let's get it. I'm holding you to it. So.
Let's do it. Until then.
Our shadows cast dark shapes to keep us in the dark like a mistake. But we can't run away to a lost place, 'cause there's no second star, just a heartbreak. Show me the lesson in 12-minute sessions. The drugs they've been pressing to keep us in check. I've still been stressing, anxiety messing up all my progression. I guess I should